So, good morning. In our financial services series, today we're talking about tips to keep borrowing costs down. So, obviously, in terms of the uncertainty that's there in the business and the supply chain levels down, it's good to kind of look at tips to keep borrowing costs down. You have to use savings to reduce the amount of loan. You have to basically look in terms of shopping for the interest rates when you are borrowing. What you need to know in terms of borrowing is the annual interest rate, how the interest is calculated, the grace period, the date interest charges start, when will you receive the payments and the statements, the minimum monthly payment, the prepayment rights, and any other charges or fees that are applied. So it's good to always have like a little bit of a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, do a comparison, look in terms of how the credit cards are calculated, look in terms of the interest rates, so the loans that you are eligible for, look in terms of the comparisons. The cost of borrowing. The cost of borrowing is the interest you pay. The total depends on the annual percentage rate, the time you take to repay, how the lender calculation calculates interest, and any extra charges. So always look in terms of the cost of borrowing. Interest rates are dependent on APR, the time you take to repay, how the lender calculates interest, and any other extra charges. Normally governments and federal leaders, governments have a influential role to play to reduce the interest rates. And as one of the policy notes I shared, that when you do a stress test, sometimes if the mortgage rates are high, the owner gets like a little bit of a leeway in terms of the stress test, so that they are not able to go through the same interest rates and the cost of borrowing that others do. So I talked about the cost of borrowing. I talked about what interest rates are, and I also talked about having a calculator which can actually help you evaluate what's good for you. At this time, are you looking at buying? Are you looking at renting? Are you looking at borrowing? Are you looking at operating? Are you looking at leasing? It's always good to look at various modes of operation, compare it on spreadsheet, look at the cost benefits, and move forward from there. Thank you so much. Have a great week.